Today, angry German artist harasses NPCs in new Wolfenstein game. This is CheckPoint. Welcome to CheckPoint. In honor of Halloween, I am in costume as a news person. And Kathleen, I have to say your beach costume is coming along wonderfully.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I still don't quite have the voice though. Nintendo?
Well, keep at it. I'm sure you'll get it. The Wolfenstein games have always looked a little different in Germany, where they have strict regulations about how Nazi imagery is represented in video games. Previous Wolfenstein games have had the swastika replaced with the Castle Wolfenstein eagle crest, which doesn't not look like imagery the Reich would have used, but gets around the regulations. What's particularly amusing in Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus is how the developer handled a scene with Hitler himself. They just removed his mustache. That's all it took to change the man in the scene from literally Hitler to a cranky old German dude who seems to like pointing at something up and then slightly to the right. This isn't the first time Hitler's had a makeover in a video game. Even in a Wolfenstein game, the SNES release of Wolfenstein 3D replaced his portrait with apparently a totally different person. And anyone else remember Wolfenstein RPG and the terrible reign of Soul Patch Hitler? CheckPoint remembers.
Players who exploit the geometry of 3D Mario games are finally getting something for their efforts, other than a low half A press count. In Super Mario Odyssey, a clever jump to escape the confines of the level as it should be played could result in players finding a fat stack of coins. Nintendo designers appear to have placed these coins there as rewards for players who break the game, but I think there's a deeper meaning to these coins. They aren't rewards, they're a taunt. Nintendo is actually saying, oh, you think you're clever? We've already been here, and we've left you some coins. Go on, take them. Fill your pockets with our largesse. So if you want to really do something game-breaking with Super Mario Odyssey, you're gonna have to find routes with no coins at all. Have fun aligning your quadruple parallel universes.
We're barely a week out from 2017's TwitchCon in Long Beach, California, where the streaming service, primarily of video games, but also of people being assholes in public, announced a slew of new features benefiting viewers and partners alike. And then on Monday, while everyone was flying home, they announced Halloween loot crates. To use Twitch's parlance, anytime you cheer with 250 bits or more, you get a Halloween crate. In plain English, you buy 250 bits for $3.50 US, and then give that to a streamer who gets $2.50 US, and in exchange, you get one of 6 random temporary chat emotes that are zombified remixes of popular site-wide emotes. If you get enough crates to luck into all 6 zombie emotes, then you unlock a zombified Kappa as a permanent emote. Feedback has been mixed, ranging from, well, I was going to give bits anyway, this is just a bonus, to Twitch is literally Soul Patch Hitler. But what makes it most interesting is that this specific system of loot crate has a name: Kompu Gacha, or Complete Gacha, and it was made illegal in Japan in 2012. Gacha, or gashapon, derives its name from random blind box vending machine toys. You don't know what you're going to get. Complete Gacha relies on completing a set, and once you've collected all items in that set, you then unlock an additional rarer item. Japan determined that was way too close to gambling and outlawed it. But hey, it's probably fine for millions of viewers in the US, right?
Popular halfway house for unwanted entertainment GameStop has announced a subscription service where you can borrow a game, keep it for as long as you want, then return it to borrow another. If you're having trouble imagining such a service, think of it as Netflix, but for games, or Gamefly, but for people without a fixed mailing address. But there is a twist. GameStop's Power Pass also allows you to keep the last game you borrowed before your 6-month subscription is up. The biggest restriction on the service seems to be you can only borrow physical copies of games on the shelf and cannot pull from the company's online catalog. Based on this, the service now seems to be combining the best aspects of a thrift store filled with uncountable copies of John Grisham's latest airport novel and a municipal library, where other people have convinced the librarians to sell all of the best books before you even come in. As a side note, Polygon's headline characterized this as an all-you-can-eat subscription for used games. which quite honestly had me more excited to see what 12 copies of NHL 2K14 tasted like.
I know it's considered gauche to speak ill of the dead, but man, the Xbox Kinect was a dumb thing nobody liked. Last week, Fast Company revealed that Microsoft was finally shutting down production of the company's least asked for peripheral after many years of slow decline following its reluctant removal as a required pack-in from the original release of the Xbox One. To give the device its credit, the Kinect, originally announced as Project Natal at E3 2009, was a very impressive piece of hardware. And when I say nobody liked it, I mean nobody liked it for playing video games. But you know who loved the Kinect? Apparently everyone else. The Kinect hardware has been used for art, research, DIY motion capture, developing motion tracking software. You know the face detection security in Apple's new iPhone X? That exists because Apple bought PrimeSense, the company whose 3D tracking technology Microsoft originally licensed for the Kinect, and because Apple then bought FaceShift, a motion capture startup who used literal Kinect hardware to get off the ground before doing facial mocap for Star Wars. The Kinect was very, very good at everything it did, except the one thing it was being sold as. Because I don't even like flicking my wrist to make Mario's hat home in on a Goomba, like how I'm standing up in my living room waving around like an inflatable tube man.
Isn't that what you do most nights anyway?
Yeah, because I enjoy it, not because I'm obliged to.
Coming up, Nintendo has announced that they expect the Switch to outsell the Wii U by next year, which is really just more of a savage self-own about how depressingly poorly the Wii U did.
They're also fighting with themselves for best reviewed game of the year.
It's funny.
The top three.
Yeah.
Two of them are Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, but it's like the top three best reviewed game. Sorry, the top 5 best reviewed games of the year. Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild for Switch,
Sure.
Breath of the Wild for Wii U.
Nice.
Those might have gotten backwards. Divinity 2 Original Sin, and Persona 5.
Damn.
Yeah.